On May 26, 1991, Lauda Air flight number NG004 took off from Bangkok for the 10-hour flight to Vienna when the thrust reverser on the flight's number 1 engine deployed uncontrollably, causing the aircraft to enter an uncontrolled dive, break up, and crash, killing all 213 passengers and 10 crew members on board. What happened? Why did the engine malfunction? Stick to the end of the video and know all your answers. Hello and welcome to Plane Crashes Explained, where we discuss some of the most mind-blowing reasons and facts behind the most heinous plane crashes. Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss future updates. Without further ado, let's get straight into this. It was the deadliest aviation incident involving a Boeing 767 at the time, and it is still the deadliest aviation incident in Thailand as of 2022. The crash was the aircraft's first fatality and third hull loss. Niki Lauda, the Formula One world champion who founded and ran Lauda Air, was personally involved in the accident investigation. The flight was carried out in a 1-year, 8-month-old Boeing 767-300 with the registration number OELAV. It was piloted by 48-year-old American Captain Thomas J. Welch and 48-year-old Austrian First Officer Joseph Turner. Lauda Air operated 3 weekly flights between Bangkok and Vienna at the time of the accident. Flight NG004, a Boeing 767-3Z9ER, took off from Dam Muang International Airport at 2302 ICT on May 26, 1991, for a flight to Vienna International Airport with 213 passengers and 10 crew, piloted by American Captain Thomas J. Welch and Austrian First Officer Joseph Turner. At 2308, Welch and Turner were alerted by a warning that a possible system failure would cause the thrust reverser on the number 1 engine to deploy in flight. After consulting the aircraft's quick reference handbook, they determined that it was just an advisory thing and took no action. The number 1 engine reverser deployed at 2317 while the plane was flying over mountainous jungle terrain in Thailand's Suphanburi and Uthai Thani provinces. Turner's final words were, "Oh, reversers deployed." The cockpit voice recorder then recorded a shuddering sound followed by a snap. Due to reverser deployment, lift on the aircraft's left side was disrupted, and the aircraft immediately began a diving left turn. The CVR recorded a second snapping sound, then various alerts such as overspeed and master caution, and Welch's final recorded words, "Jesus Christ," followed by, "Here, wait a minute," and then, "Damn it." The CVR then recorded an increase in background noise, followed by several loud bangs before stopping recording. As the crew attempted to go for a controlled descent, sections of the rudder and right elevator failed and broke off due to the extreme stress of the dive. The right horizontal stabilizer then became completely separated, and the rear section of the fuselage failed and broke off, taking the rest of the tail with it. The aircraft entered a vertical nose-down attitude after losing its tail fin. It broke the sound barrier with a speed of Mach 0.99. According to eyewitnesses, the entire right wing failed and detached at that point, igniting a fireball. The aircraft disintegrated at 4,000 feet before crashing to the ground and exploding violently. Most of the wreckage was scattered across a remote forest area 1 square kilometer in size at an elevation of 600 meters in what is now Phu Toi National Park, Suphanburi. The debris was approximately 6 kilometers north-northeast of Phu Toi, Huai Kamin, Dan Chang District, Suphanburi Province, approximately 100 kilometers northwest of Bangkok near the Myanmar-Thailand border. Rescuers discovered Welch's body in the pilot's seat. Volunteer rescue teams and local villagers looted the wreckage, taking electronics and jewelry, not leaving anything for the relatives to recognize. The bodies were taken to a Bangkok hospital. The bodies decomposed because the storage was not refrigerated. Despite the efforts of dental and forensic experts, 27 bodies were left unidentified. The aircraft may have been destroyed by a bomb, according to speculation. According to the Philadelphia Inquirer, citing unidentified wire services, the search for a motive is difficult because politically neutral Austria has generally stayed out of most international conflicts, such as the Persian Gulf War, that have made other countries' airlines targets of terrorist attacks. Because the flight data recorder had been destroyed, only the cockpit voice recorder was usable. According to Pradit Hoprasatuk, the head of the Thailand Department of Aviation's Air Safety Division, the attempt to determine why the reverser came on was hampered by the loss of the flight data recorder, which was destroyed in the crash. Niki Lauda flew to Thailand immediately. He examined the wreckage and estimated that the largest fragment was about 5 meters by 2 meters, or roughly half the size of the largest piece in the Lockerbie crash. Lauda traveled to Thailand to attend the funeral of 23 unidentified passengers before flying to Seattle to meet with Boeing representatives. The official investigation led by Thailand's Aircraft Accident Investigation Committee lasted about 8 months, and the probable cause was released. The Accident Investigation Committee of the Government of Thailand determines the probable cause of this accident to be an uncommanded in-flight deployment of the left engine thrust reverser, which resulted in loss of flight path control. The precise cause of the thrust reverser deployment has yet to be determined. Several possibilities were investigated, including a system short circuit. Due to the destruction of much of the wiring, no definitive reason for the thrust reverser activation could be found. As evidence pointed to thrust reversers as the cause of the accident, Lauda conducted similar flights at Gatwick Airport that demonstrated that the deployment of a thrust reverser was a survivable incident. According to Lauda, the thrust reverser could not have been the sole cause of the crash. However, according to the accident report, the flight crew training simulators yielded erroneous results, and recovery from the loss of lift from the reverser deployment was uncontrollable for an unprepared flight crew. According to Lauda, what really irritated me was Boeing's reaction once the cause was established. Boeing refused to say anything. Lauda asked Boeing to fly the scenario in a simulator that used different data than the one Lauda had tested at Gatwick Airport. Boeing initially refused, but Lauda persisted, so Boeing agreed. Lauda attempted the flight 15 times in the simulator, and he was unable to recover each time. He asked Boeing to issue a statement, but the legal department said it couldn't because changing the wording would take 3 months. Lauda requested a press conference the next day, telling Boeing that if recovery was possible, he would be willing to fly on a 767 with 2 pilots and have the thrust reverser deploy in the air. Boeing informed Lauda that it was not possible, so he requested that Boeing should issue a statement stating that it would not be survivable, which Boeing did. This was the first time in 8 months that it had been made clear that the manufacturer was at fault and not the operator of the airplane, Lauda continued. There were 83 Austrians among the passengers and crew, 74 passengers and 9 crew members, 52 Hong Kong residents, 39 Thais, 10 Italians, 7 Swiss, 6 Chinese, 4 Germans, 3 Portuguese, 3 Taiwanese, 3 Yugoslavs, 2 Hungarians, 2 Filipinos, 2 Britons, 3 Americans, 2 passengers and the captain, 1 Australian, 1 Brazilian, 1 Pole, and 1 Iranian Turk girl with a Turkish passport boarded the plane. The co-pilot, Joseph Turner, once flew with Niki Lauda on a Lauda Boeing 767 service to Bangkok, which was the subject of a Reader's Digest article in January 1990 that portrayed the airline positively. According to MacArthur Job, Turner was the most well-known of the crew members. The crash destroyed roughly a quarter of the airline's carrying capacity. Following the crash of OELAV, the airline canceled all flights to Sydney on June 1st, 6th, and 7th. Flights resumed on June 13th with another 767. Niki Lauda stated that the crash in 1991 and the period after were the worst times of his life, even worse than his recovery from injuries sustained in the 1976 German Grand Prix. Bookings from Hong Kong dropped by 20% after the crash, but more passengers from Vienna began booking flights, so there were no significant changes in overall bookings. Boeing issued an alert to airlines in early August 1991, stating that over 1,600 late model 737s, 747s, 757s, and 767s had thrust reverser systems similar to the OELAV. Customers were asked to replace potentially faulty valves and thrust reverser systems that could cause reversers to deploy in flight 2 months later. So many crashes have happened because people involved in the airplane's manufacturing process were so careless that they didn't even consider what would happen to the plane in coming years. There are always repercussions to these careless mistakes. Was it a mistake by pilots or the manufacturers of Boeing? What do you think? Let us know in the comments section. If you liked the video, here are 2 more you'll probably like. Please leave a like on the video and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching.